It's amazing. It's amazing to see two things right now in the marketplace for me. Three, actually.
Hmm.
The first thing is having enough experience now in digital marketing. Um, I'm starting to see where even the gurus are not getting the result. Like they're not building it like a business. It seems opportunistic sometimes because relationships come together and then relationships break apart. I mean, we were just talking about a couple of really big guys that kind of did that. That's one thing I'm noticing that it's almost like there's not a plan behind it, or there is a plan, but it's not like a cohesive marriage of like who on earth starts a business and and you go through all the things to start a business, and then because something doesn't work out, the business kind of ends. That's the weirdest thing in the world. And so that makes me aware of thing number two. And thing number two is, we were talking about this a whole lot earlier, the marketers that are out, or people that are trying to build a business. Don't call them marketers. I mean,
Hmm.
we all become that over time, but they end up trying to emulate the people that they think are successful. And a lot of people, because they're not, me, I'm offline and online in business. So
Right.
I get a really good view of like people that own businesses in general, but especially the online, they start to emulate people that they think are successful. They start to actually try to implement the tactics that they're doing. But you and I both know that those are opportunities that people are taking. They make their million or five or whatever, and then they sit on that money and wait for the next opportunity. It's not legacy building like you and I've talked about. It's not generational. It's really about me, 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 me. And I guess the third thing that I kind of have seen out there, and I'm saying what I see because I want to hear your feedback on it.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, the third thing that I see out there is, even in the local marketplace, um, the local marketplace seems to always be a wave behind people that are online doing marketing. And the reason that I say that is because, and I think we're probably going to talk about this today, but um, we're in a whole new generation of how to meet your ideal client. And people in the offline world are still, they're willing to walk door to door and put door hangers on when social media is a much quicker way to get that
Sure.
done, or
Sure.
even paying for traffic, you'll get a much better result. And so they're really resistant to not only doing the kinds of activities that'll get them the result online, but they're resistant even projecting that when they're offline. It's
Gotcha.
become, it's not, it doesn't feel, whether they're authentic or not, it doesn't feel authentic. It doesn't come across as, here's the value that I'm adding to you. And instead it really comes back to this whole me, me, me thing. So in all three of those examples, what I continue to see happen, whether there's people are highly successful, and if we're gauging highly successful by how much money you make, or we're gauging people that are doing it even in the offline world, it's about me. It's not about you. It's not about the value that you offer. It's not about being able to get that message out there in a way that people not only know, like, and trust you, but they make the decision to do business with you. And to me, it's, it doesn't work. And so for 7 years, you and I have been doing business together. And for 7 years, I've watched it not work. And, you and I have been able to successfully tap into making things work. And I just kind of wanted to hear your opinion on, I see what's not working in the offline and online world. Based upon what I said and any other insight, what do you think you see going on?
Man, I tell you, uh, I see a lot of impressionable marketing where people they get on with and when we were talking about this, the people get on with a passion. It's like, hey, I'm really good at this. I really want to share this with the world. That's why there's so many authors that are popping up, because everybody wants to share their story now.
Mm.
Everybody wants to write a book. It's like a long life goal to do. I want to write a book. The beginning of every year, someone is going to write that book, or they're going to talk about writing that book. I talked with a client yesterday who said, yep, I'm going to write this book in the first quarter. In the second quarter, I'm going to write this book. And
Yeah.
I'm going, what are you doing to write the first book? What's your plan for that? And they're like, I don't know. Well, how are you going to get to the second book if you don't really know your plan for the first book? And I think, like you were saying, people, their passion, their initial excitement and their initial passion to go out and do something and spread their message and share their value is becoming diluted because they get online and they start seeing these gurus, these experts, so to speak, and they look at their persona and they say, well, that seems to work better than what I thought. Oh man, I was going to do this, but now that I'm looking at this guy or this lady, I think I want to do that. So they spend their time, instead of dialing into their craft and dialing into their passion, they end up spending their time focusing and studying that person. And what happens is, Chris, we've been talking about this, it's kind of funny, is they end up becoming a clone of that person.
Yeah.
Or a very bad attempt in most cases. They don't see it, everybody else sees it. Oh, they're trying to be like so-and-so. I feel that what's got to happen is people need to look at what they're seeing as the examples. They need to look at it from a different perspective of, okay, this person is doing something that's working. I not only need to study this person and what their processes are, but I also need to devise a way that is going to be comfortable for me to be able to share that and still be authentic, still be my authentic self. And there is a way to do that. And I feel like that's the wave. That's where it should go. I don't know if it will. I think that if people start working with us and start working with the people that we work with now, I think they'll start to see that, hey, your message is relative. Your message has value. It has impact. So never dilute that, and never try to become someone who you aren't and who you can't be.
Yeah. I think the other thing that really leads me to is, I mean, you were talking to a high 7-figure earner a week or two ago, and we had a conversation about that. And he even shared with you that only 2% of the people are doing the work. Now, here he is making millions of dollars a year, and only 2% of the people are doing the work. And, that begs the question, why are people buying into programs and not doing the work? And I think you led to some of it. You buy into the program, and then the focus shifts from producing a result to wanting to fulfill something inside of you. And, we used to call it you used to call it, and I used to laugh, it's like crack. It's like digital marketing crack.
It's digital marketing crack.
And so you're buying that new shiny object because it makes you feel good to hit that buy button. And the high from that is that this thing promises to solve all of my issues. And then people take the same attitude that they took before they bought that program, because they weren't really doing anything to begin with.
Right.
And it would be like, me wanting to, in the remodeling world, I go out and buy the most expensive trailer I can find and outfit it with all of the tools. And then it just sits in the back of the office, or in the parking lot out behind the office, and I never use it. I've tended not to do that in life in general. Like, I don't buy things that aren't going to go make me money. Right. I did that for a long time because I couldn't afford it. I would go sell the job, and I would start using the crowbar for a hammer, and then go, it might be smart for me to go buy a hammer. I think I can probably get the job done faster. And then I bought a nail gun, because the nail gun makes it go even faster. But the money was there to be had. And I think what ends up happening for people is they buy into the idea that this thing, especially in internet marketing, this thing will solve my problem. No, what solves problems? Getting in the trench and doing the work. That always solves the problem.
Absolutely. So, people aren't doing the work because, like you said, they have that shiny object syndrome. It is digital marketing crack. It's actually digital marketing dust that they're sniffing.
Yep.
And here's what I think. They have an idea. Okay. They may get inspired by something they see someone doing, or they may wake up with an aha moment, right? So they have that idea. However, where it all falls down is they don't have a plan. They don't have a plan of how it's going to get done. It's like you can talk about wanting a plane all day.
Yeah.
But you can dream about it. You can go out and buy the model. I've done that. I want a G60. So I want a plane. And they have an idea. Right. But there's no, it's not thought out. It's not well thought out. What's your plan of attack? And you don't necessarily have to have a clear-cut plan, like a roadmap. You've got to find someone who can help you dial that plan in. But if you don't have anything to bring to the table, then it's kind of useless. And because you don't have that, it doesn't matter what you invest in. It doesn't matter how much it costs. It doesn't matter what it says it's going to do for you. If you don't put the work in and you don't have a plan, at least for someone to look at, man, it's going to make people not want to do the work. They're just not going to, they're going to get overwhelmed when they see a plan. Easy without a plan. Think about it. It's easy to think of a great home. It's easy to think of a great car, a great airplane. But if you don't have a system in place or have someone that has a system on how to get a plane, I recommend talking to someone who already has a plane.
Yep.
If you don't have those things, man, it's going to be overwhelming, and it's going to be just another one of these ideas that ends up going nowhere.
Well, and I think it's important too, and what I saw this podcast being, we're still kind of in the inaugural stages of what we're doing, but I think it's important to lay a foundation of philosophy down, a way of thinking, a way of understanding how to muddle your way through as quickly as possible to results. Because the people that we're really speaking to are not people that are tire kickers that are wannabe business people. We're talking to people that want to get real results. And, we're really talking to people that are just willing to do the work. The one thing that I know that I brought to the table when you and I started working together, because you were helping me in my business, not the other way around, is that I was willing to do whatever you told me to do. I didn't really ask questions. I just went and implemented. And if I did do anything, I tried to do more than what you asked for. And you actually had to reel some of that in on several occasions. And I know that produces success if I'm just willing to do the work. But another thing that I think is really important for people to understand is we've gone through a real evolution since internet marketing has begun. And back in the day, kind of when you started, you started like 13 or 14 years ago. But, back in the day when there was the first $1 million day online, you could just throw stuff out there and people were buying it because it was the first time they'd ever done it. So it's kind of easy if you just go through the process of figuring out how to put some information out there. Mm-hmm. And then people like Eben Pagan came in. I know that's somebody that you aspire to be. And people came in that were really intelligent, that not only put information out there, but they put programs together to really help people scale their life. Mm-hmm. And he sold those for high-end numbers, but he was still using marketing 1.0, the whole email blast and continuation of conversation through that. And people were willing to open their emails back then. That doesn't happen as frequently now. So it kind of went to marketing online 2.0, where you have intelligent buyers. And I think that's when the bling started showing up. Everybody's in their $1 million cars and their $1 million rented house. And, it was so funny. I remember those videos where the house had nothing in it, or it was this beautiful mansion with like this $40 table with a table cover on top of it. You could just tell that it wasn't real, but people were buying that because it was the first time that it was ever seen. Mm-hmm. And now we've really evolved back to what I think is going to be the norm forever. I'm sure there are going to be more levels of growth, but the thing that I've seen that works, that really, really works. Number one, do you have a system? Can you communicate that system? Can you show results from that system? And are you being authentic in the process of presenting that to other people. If you don't have the results, don't fake them, don't pretend, don't make it. Talk about what you want. You know, bring people into a beta group, charge them a fair amount, produce the result for them, then show that result and grow that and speak, instead of trying to fake it until you make it, or instead of trying to like slick it over on people, because people have become, this is the God's honest truth, I know it for a fact, people have become so attuned to the BS that they're hearing that if you send them a DM or a text message and you're not being authentic, they can interpret your lack of authenticity in a text message. That's how digital we've become here. And the only people that are truly going to make legacy type growth in their life for their children, their children's children, the people that are surrounding them, are the people that are like telling the truth and being authentic with it. What's your thought?
Oh man, I definitely agree. You know, we were talking about people coming in with an idea, but not necessarily a plan. I think that there is an equation, and just listening to what you were saying, it really brought out some ideas. You know, if you have a vision, that's okay. It's not okay if that's all you have. But if you have a vision, and then you align that with a plan, and you align that with someone or something, preferably someone that can help you understand what that looks like, can help you craft that into your message, into your product, to defining the people and the profits, how to get profits from that. Because we're here to make money. You know, this can be a hobby, but it can be a profitable hobby. So, so I think that you do that. If you put that equation together, you spoke to this, you get results. You get results. Now, if any of those things or any of those pieces are not connected, it only takes one piece to be out of sync for it to not work.
Yep.
So a lot of people are thinking they've got this vision, but they don't really need a plan. Their plan is, I'm just going to go out into the market and see who wants it. They've got this vision, but no plan. If they've got a vision and a plan, that's still not enough, because they still have to have someone to help them connect that to the people, to the kind of products, the services, how they're going to make money, how they're going to communicate their message effectively to those people in order to make those profits, to get those results. If those things aren't together, if any of those components are missing or misaligned, bro, it's the reason why people give up and go home.
Yep.
It's the reason why people aren't doing the work. I think the main thing is having someone to hold you accountable. Someone that's been where you've been. Like I talked about a plane earlier. In this podcast, I'm going to talk about planes because I believe in the visualization process, and I'm going to get a plane. And I have a plan to get a plane.
What's the plane you're getting again? A CS-30?
I want to know it's the G60.
Oh, G60.
G60 plane. They had the G45. Now they got the G60.
All right.
Yeah. So you gotta have all those components in place. And if you don't, bro, it's the reason people will go home. It's like coming out to play football on a Saturday. I'm sorry. It's like coming out to play football on a Thursday and Friday, but everybody else is at school. You know, we play football. I remember growing up, we had this dirt road right beside my house, and it made my brother and I the most popular kids in the neighborhood because there was no traffic on that dirt road on a Saturday, and they could come and play football. So we could like mark off the yards and touch the end zones and all of that. We had the people there. They came out, and that was our plan. So it went really well. But if you don't have that dirt road, you don't have all of that stuff, and even if you do, and you do it on a Tuesday when everybody's at school, it doesn't matter. So you lose that desire, and you get desperate, and you want to start to emulate a Chris Whitehead. You want to start to become what you're seeing, because that's like kind of desperate, you know, and something gets lost in that.
Well, you know, so the question that comes up, you know, I'm the what's next guy.
Yeah.
So you know, is there a solution? If so, you know, what does perfect look like? I think we kind of spoken to some of it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I want everybody that watches this podcast to understand, and you know, if you think this is a good podcast, share it out, let people know, because our intention for here until we can't do it anymore is we're in growth mode. We're making money. We're having to grow and change, and we want to share those tactics and strategies with other people. But with that being said, the first thing that I heard is you really do have to not only have a vision, you have to have some steps to get there. If you don't, you need to find somebody as quickly as possible to help you, because you're going to be bleeding money the whole time. If you can't get to a sale, and trust me, you need to be able to get to a sale to keep your business open. Mm-hmm. You need to stop, drop, and figure out who it is that can help you understand what a system looks like, so that you can even just take like one phone call. Literally, if you are serious about building your business, one phone call with somebody like you, somebody like me, somebody out there that makes sales, they can look at your business. They can help you by giving you boom, 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 boom. And I promise you, you could go make a sale that day.
Absolutely. You know,
that you could. So that's number one.
Yeah.
Is you gotta have that system, not just the vision. I heard that. Mm-hmm. Number two is that you have to have the work ethic to get it done. Nobody else is going to build your business for you. 95% of people fail within 5 years at owning a business. There is a reason why. It's so much easier to buy someone else's dream and give them money for it and do nothing than it is to go do what you have to do. You got to mature, you got to be a grown up, and you got to put your big boy or big girl pants on. If you call yourself an entrepreneur or a business owner, then go out and do something called sell. Go do the work. Don't do the busy work. Do the 20% of the things that get you the result, and that'll give you some time later on to focus on the other 80%. And you need to identify what that 20% is. Number three, something that we haven't talked about too much, is if there is a solution, what is it? What does perfect look like? Mm-hmm. Most people aren't doing the work. Is there a solution out there where they don't have to and still get a result? And I don't want to let any cats out of the bag, but I'd love to hear what you think about how that might look or how that can be. Can people invest money in digital marketing, knowing that most people, you the listener right now, you know that most people don't want to do whatever it is you're doing. We talk to 7-figure marketers who only 2% do the work, yet they're still making the money. Is there a way to help more people get a result than just 2%? What do you think about all that?
100%. Absolutely. Yes, they can. And here's the thing. You were speaking to having the vision and the plan, and they must coexist. A lot of people don't have a plan. They have the vision. Okay. We spoke to that. And of course they need someone else, if they have that plan, to start to bring that to reality. There are two kinds of people who are serious about this, and the people who aren't. The people who aren't are the people that have the vision but no plan. It's like, and let me sidebar for a moment because it's relevant. When you and I don't know anybody who transfers as many ideas in one day more than you and I do. and it goes a little something like this. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Great, man. What's up? I've been thinking about this thing. Here's what I got, man. It'd be great if we could help people do this and do this and do this. And here's the plan that I have. So what do you think about this plan? Oh man, it sounds great, because we are helping a lot of people. But you know what? We don't have to do all of that. What if we did the main things? What if you took that thing that you said initially, thing number one, and instead of going down this path, why don't you shortcut the process here? Because you know people don't want to do the work. So that's step one. Step two, what if you did this? And step three. And I go, well, you know what? Step 1 and 2 I love, but step 3, what if we twisted that just a little? We tweaked it just a little. Yeah, man, I like that. Okay, I'll talk to you later. See, if you don't have someone if you don't have a plan, first of all, some sort of plan, doesn't have to be perfect. If you don't have a plan that's going to validate your vision, and then having someone to say, well, that's a good plan, it's a great start, but what if we did this? And here's the reason why. Here's the benefit of that. If you don't have that, then you're setting yourself up. And that's the reason why only 2% of the people do the work, is because they come without that idea of what it is that they want to do. So when they come to someone who's a 7-figure marketer who's teaching you how you can duplicate his process, they're not ready for that.
Right.
They're not ready. So I think it's critical that we find the people who are ready, the people who have a plan, because then that way they can understand how that plan can be tweaked and they can move forward. So that's my answer.
Well, and what I learned and how I think of things, and we experience this. So I don't want to go on at length about this, but it's interesting. You and I started selling 6 figures a year. Kind of, we had a plan, which was we can sell, we can do, but we set up a plan that wasn't really scalable.
No.
And what ended up happening, you became the doer of a lot of those things, with a lot of people that had pieces that they wanted done, but they didn't have the full plan. So the reason we're even having this conversation is because we were those people. We were those people that basically sold out, couldn't do any more, and couldn't scale that business. And when we decided to come back around, we made sure everything followed one simple principle. And that principle is, can we scale? Okay, look, you become an entrepreneur to first make money. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Become an entrepreneur because you don't want somebody else to tell you what to do. You become an entrepreneur because you don't want the glass ceiling. You don't want somebody else to have the right to fire or hire or change or whatever. You become an entrepreneur so you can be in control. And at first, you have to focus on making the money. But once you start making the money, you realize money's not the thing. It's the freedom that you want.
Yes.
That's why you really wanted to become an entrepreneur, because you have an unlimited potential for prosperity, but you also have the ability to buy your time back. And understanding that helped me as a general contractor in my offline business.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about this earlier. I used to be the guy that would do the electrical, that would do the plumbing, that would do the framing, that would do the drywall, that would do the painting. I spent years learning how to be somewhat good, or good enough to make sure people didn't kill themselves with the electrical and the plumbing. And then I learned to be an expert finish carpenter, and I learned to be a decent framer, and I learned how to be a salesman, and I learned all these hats I had to wear. And I realized that forever I could not scale that business into a multi-million-dollar business, which is what we have now and what we're growing. You're helping me. I have a whole team of people that we're growing this company. But the hat that I wear now is that I have experts in place that do what they do. And it's our job, your and my job, to make sure that they're given the freedom to do it, that they're held accountable for it, and that we have created a structure for scalability. And the biggest takeaway for anybody listening to us that I would want for you, I would love to have the testimonial, oh, Chris and Lonnie helped me make, $100,000 this year, or $100,000 this month. Sure, that's an awesome testimonial. You know what I'd rather hear? Chris and Lonnie helped me make enough money that I could go hang out with my family again.
Yes. That's really what they want.
Chris and Lonnie helped me to become relevant to my community again, to think bigger than just the money. And that comes because you eventually become a general contractor of what you do. You focus on the marketing, you focus on the numbers, you focus on the metrics, and you focus on putting the right people on your team. And I know that sounds like a stretch for somebody that's a solopreneur, but I'm telling you, even if you get the gumption and the fortitude to become a salesperson and crush it for yourself, you will eventually get to a place where your time is over. You have nothing left for anybody else, and you will have wished that you had started thinking about scalability from the very beginning. That's what I think leads to ultimate success.
Wow, I couldn't agree more. And it's so it's so strange. We talk about that 2%. When that was shared with me that only 2% of the people are doing the work and getting results.
Yep.
It was staggering for me. I knew it was pretty, even in our business. And I want to speak to what you were saying earlier. Yeah, we made six figures. We were very successful, but we were doing the things that people came to us and said they wanted.
Right. We were letting the tail wag the dog.
Yeah, and where we went wrong. I mean, we got people what they wanted. We did what we said. We did what they paid for.
Right. We wouldn't still be online if we didn't.
That's true. But the problem was we didn't ask them what have they done to attempt to make this work. Where did that idea come from? What was their plan of action? And if we asked that, in a lot of cases we would have heard, well, just come into you guys and let you do it. And you know what? We got what we deserved.
Yeah.
We got what we deserved. Because if they aren't willing to take that second step, which is to outline some sort of a plan, it's like going to get a job, like in the brick and mortar world, going to get a job. The most important thing you need to have with you is a resume. That kind of outlines what you've done in life to gain the opportunity to even sit here. and if you looked in a classified ad, whether it's online or in the newspaper, if you look there, it will tell you what the requirements are. You have to have 5 years experience in this market. You have to have a bachelor's degree. You need to have a suit, whatever. So you come there with those requirements, right? Because they set those. That's the ticket to admission. So it's like, Chris, you got to have some dress shoes if you want to come to this meeting, or you need to have a tuxedo. If you come without a tuxedo, then how can we work with you? How can we let you in?
Right.
And a lot of times we were working with people who came without the tuxedo. And I don't care how nice your tuxedo was. If you got a black suit, that qualifies. That means, okay, so that's great that you had a suit, but you've got to have the satin lapels. You need a bow tie.
Right.
You need some cufflinks. We can help you with that because you came with a plan. You came with something. A lot of times what we did is we allowed people to come in with nothing. And that's a disadvantage to us as well as them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and the key is just, again, part of sharing this information. We want other people to think about this. Yeah. Come be a part of smart marketing, et cetera. There's going to be more. Come on in. One of my guys just showed up, so apologize. There's going to be more opportunities for you to become closer on our team, but also start looking at the process from the very beginning. Not only what we're talking about, but we're sharing this information in the podcast. Why? We don't ever have to share this information again. It's all about scalability. It's all about taking, conversations. Lonnie, you helped me become a 7-figure earner. I went through the whole gambit of having only one thing. I was willing to do the work. That's what
you had a plan, and you had a plan.
Yeah, and I did have a plan,
and we polished it.
And that plan has changed and refined a little bit over time. Not based upon actually somewhat based upon the results, but also based upon, I climbed a little higher on the mountain and I looked around and I said, wow, that looks different from up here than it did down there. Maybe there's an even faster way to get there, and not just about making money, but now it's more holistic. And, but having that work ethic. And so I'd like to close this out if we can. And I want to be able to do this every single podcast if we can. Because I think it's wicked important. I've talked to a few people about it, and they all said, yeah, this is what's cool. I want to leave one tip. I'm going to leave a tip. I want you to leave a tip. What's one thing that people can do today to start recognizing that this stuff works? And I'm going to assume that everybody understands that we are in the social media part of life right now. If you want to sell yourself, sell your products, have more awareness, that you're going to need to be on social media. Now, I know that there are over 2 billion people on Facebook. You need a small fraction of those people to actually love you, follow you, believe in you. before you can start making some sales. And we're going to talk about, especially inside of smart marketing, et cetera, in Digital Marketing Mavericks, we're going to talk a whole lot more about the actual techniques that you use. But I want to share with you, with the audience, one technique. I want to share with you one technique that you can use today just to start to see how this works. Today, I want you to go and I want you to touch 5 people that are in your friend list by going to their wall, tagging their name in a comment, and saying something positive about something that they've posted. Just 5 people today. I want you tomorrow to go to 5 different people. And for 5 days in a row, I want you to talk to 5 people on their wall. This is easy stuff to do. Just go tag 5 people in their own comments on their own page, and say something nice and positive. You'll have 25 people that you've touched in 5 days. Watch and see what starts happening in your news feed over those 5 days, because you've made connection with people. Once you start having a product to sell, we're going to talk to you about how you position that inside of social media that doesn't cost you a dime, that will start to get followers for you, that will start to get people that are interested in listening what you have to say, and that will eventually lead to a sale. I promise you it works, because I've done it to the tune of 6 figures or more in sales per year without spending a dime doing it. So that's my one tip today. What's yours, Lonnie?
Wow, well, that's a good one. That was mine. No,
Oops.
I like that one.
I do too.
Maybe I should have went first.
Oh man, sorry.
No, but seriously, that's really good. And that's exactly what we've done. When I first met you 7 years ago, that's exactly what your idea was to reach out and make a difference. That's really good. So since we're talking about 5s, here's what I want to leave you with, something that is going to lead you to think. We talked about vision and planning, having that visualization of what it is that you want to do or who you want to become or the results that you want for yourself and for others. And we talked about the importance of planning, having a plan. So I'd like for you to tap deep into that visualization to whatever it is that you want to do, you want to have, whatever that idea is. I want you to really tap into that and really give it some deep thought. And then I want you to sit down and write the 5 steps you think are critical in order to fulfill that, in order to achieve that. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I can tell you this: if there aren't five things there, then maybe you need to rethink your vision. Maybe you need to choose that other thing that you think is really important that's going to have an impact. But choose 5 steps. What is step 1 that's going to get you to the result? What's step 2 look like? What is step 3? What's the next step you would take? And what's that final step? At least 5. Don't make it too long. 5 to 7 steps. I want you to outline that. And then I'd like for you to look at it. And we'd love to have a conversation with you about it, because I think we help people without that. So if you've got that, that's going to be a bonus for you.
Yeah.
And we've got a link. You can go to smartmarketingchat.com, smartmarketingchat.com, and it's going to connect you to our Facebook Messenger. And just come in and say, hey, Chris and I will see it. One of us or both of us will jump in and say, hey. And then we'd like for you to share what your vision is and what your plan is. And we'd like to possibly have a call if it looks like it's something that we can help you with. We'd like to have a call with you.
Yeah. And I think also, just as an added bonus, we have a Smart Marketing, et cetera, on Facebook, and we'll put that link in there as well. Come join the group. It's a free group. And what we'll do is we'll send a little upload of these 5 steps and the things that I talked about, reaching out and sharing with people. Just nothing special, Word document, but it'll be a little trip, a reminder. You can have it, and just our little way of helping you take a first step towards building the results that you want. You know, I'm living testimony to being willing to do the work, being willing to lean into some of the hard choices that I've had to make over the 7 years with Lonnie. He's helped me scale my business. He's continuing to help us scale our business. And the juice is definitely worth the squeeze, but you have to be the kind of person that can do what Lonnie asks you to do. Because otherwise you get back on the next phone call as a client or whatnot, and you're having the same conversations over again and you're not getting anywhere. It's your business. It's up to you to build it. We're here to help guide you along that process and help you not to make decisions that belabor that process. And what I've seen in my own life, in your life, and actually in everybody's lives that we talk to, if they don't think too hard and they just go implement, it just kind of works. But you got to be willing to do the work. And that to me is the overriding theme of this message. Look, you can absolutely do nothing of what anybody tells you to do, and you're still going to make a sale. There's like close to 10 billion people on earth. The only reason that you're not getting any result is because you're not trying. And that's just the truth.
Yeah.
But we would love to help you out. We'd love to see you in Smart Marketing, et cetera. In the group we post in there, and other people do as well. And we'd have that upload. And then it's smartmarketingchat.com.
Smartmarketingchat.com. Yeah, just come over, have a conversation with us. Quick conversation on Facebook. You're under no obligation. As one of our mentors says, it's free dollars. It's free dollars, and if you don't do it today, you're going to miss out because we're going to double that price tomorrow.
Right. It's just having a conversation, seeing where you are in business, and seeing if we can help you out. If we can, we can. You won't even have the pressure of having to look at my ugly mug or
mine,
Lonnie's beautiful face.
You're right. Okay.
It'll just be, DMing. We'll just talk to you back and forth. But anyway, Lonnie, I appreciate you taking the time with me today. I look forward to our next podcast, brother.
Me too, brother. Thank you. Hey, join us at Smart Marketing Chat, everyone. We can't wait to have a conversation with you about how we can help you take your vision and your plan and turn it into results.
That's right. Go do the work.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.
See you.
Bye-bye.